Hello, everyone. My name is Allianna Schneider. I am the chef here at Key Cellular Nutrition, and today we are going to be making shrimp tacos. Alrighty. So I love this recipe because it's super simple. Do you want to maybe adjust that camera a little? It's on that one. It's on an angle. Perfect. Maybe put the screen down a little bit. All right. So before we get started, I'm just going to walk through everything that I have here, everything that I'm using, my favorite ingredients, where I get everything from. So Butcher Box is by far my favorite place to get meat shipped to my house from. It's super simple, super convenient. I love having their stuff ready to go in my freezers. All I have to do is take it out the night before, put it in the fridge to thaw, and then just cook it the next day. It's great. So I have my wild caught shrimp here. When it does come to preparing seafood, or any type of meat or any type of protein for that matter, you want it to naturally thaw out. And the best way to do that is by putting it in the fridge overnight with a bowl underneath it. You never want to run it under water or let it sit out in the sink, because that is just asking for bacteria to grow all in it. All right. So before we get started, I'm just going to heat up my pan. I'm using my Our Place pan. I love this pan because it's non-toxic. It doesn't stick. It's super simple to clean. And the best part is I can just leave it sit out on my stove, because I don't know about you, but cabinet space is limited. So it's nice just to have that to be able to sit out because it looks good. All right. So I am getting that heated up. I am going to strain my shrimp. And while that's heating up, I'm going to chop my slaw. So I have a bag of shredded cabbage here. You can buy your cabbage as one big piece and then cut it, put it in chunks, and then put it in the food processor, or you can buy it in a bag. I think the bag is way more convenient. It's way easier to go this route. So I'm just going to move this out of the way so you guys can see. I'm just going to start chopping. This is going to get the pieces nice and soft, nice and small. You want it to be small because you don't want big pieces of cabbage in your slaw. It's real finely cut. You can put it in the food processor, which I got out, but there's a fine line between the slaw becoming too small and too thin to just the right amount. So you want to, I like to chop it. All right. So we're chopping this up. Our pan's heating up. And feel free to put any questions that you have in the comments box, and we'll answer those. All right. This slaw has carrots mixed in it. It's a mix of green and purple cabbage. It's delicious. All right. So I'm going to put my slaw back in the bowl, and then we're going to mix it up. But first, we're going to add our shrimp to the stove, and we're going to cook that. The thing about shrimp is it cooks real fast. So this is actually a pretty quick and easy meal. You can make the homemade tortillas with it, or you can just use store-bought. If you are using store-bought, I like brands like Siete. I do have that homemade tortilla recipe on my website, though. All right. I'm going to put a little bit of ghee in my pan. Heat that up. Well, that's getting started. I'm going to add my shrimp. Here, you want your shrimp to be drained, so you don't want it to be full of liquid. I have my colander inside a big bowl here. So I'm just going to add this in. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic powder. I'm just going to saute it a little bit. And the way you know shrimp is done is it turns pink. It only needs a few minutes to cook though. All right. We have that on, and while it's cooking, I'm going to make my slaw. So I like to use avocado mayo. This is the jar. It's Sir Kensington's brand. So this kind of mayo I find is my favorite because it is the cleanest out of all the mayos. It uses avocado oil instead of canola oil. All right. It looks like our screen locked there. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all right. I'm going to add some more mayo here. And the mayo is what gives this slaw a creamy-like flavor. I'm going to add a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and that is what is going to give it a tangy flavor. And apple cider vinegar also can be really, really good for your gut. I'm going to add a little bit of dill. Dill is my favorite herb to cook with, especially in the spring and summer. It is just a very fresh, it has a very fresh kind of taste. So I'm adding this. Add a little bit of Dijon mustard to add a little extra flavor. All right. Now I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to check on my shrimp. See, shrimp doesn't take long to cook at all. So we're just keeping an eye on this because we don't want to overcook it. All right. So as far as the taco shells, like I said, you can buy siete shells. You can make the homemade shells that are on my website, or you can use what I like to call a lettuce wrap. I'm just cutting into cabbage. I'm going to pull off a piece very delicately so it doesn't break, and it could break, and that's okay. I'm going to pull it from the bottom because that'll help. And you get these little shells. These are a great alternative, especially if you're doing low carb, keto, anything like that. If you're doing the Whole30, this is a great way to do it. Or AIP. I'm just gonna gently pull these off. All right. I'm gonna put this, wash this. Check on my shrimp. Right, like I said, shrimp does not take long at all to cook. So it is done. I'm going to add a little bit of buffalo sauce. So you can make your own buffalo sauce, or you can use store-bought. If you are using store-bought, you just need to make sure there's no wonky ingredients in it. I really like Noble Made by the new Primal brand. This is like the medium heat. It's great. If you want to make your own buffalo sauce, you just use hot sauce and ghee. It's super simple and quite delicious. So I'm going to add this. Just gonna saute it a little bit. I'm gonna let it sit. I'm going to I like to put my slaw at the bottom of the taco. I'm gonna put my slaw in. Yum. Going to add, whoops. My shrimp. And I'll show you guys the final product. Look at that. Look how good it looks. And like I said, it is low carb and keto friendly. You can use the siete wraps if you want, or you can eat it like this. Alrighty guys, enjoy. Mm.